Squad, welcome back to InhaleGamesHQ. You can call me COMM, and today's video is another Who Is episode, this time going over the legend Ballistic, his backstory, abilities, and some tips and tricks to help you maximize your gameplay with this legend. Of course, if you have any tips or tricks of your own, or I missed anything important, please let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons for more videos like this one. Thanks for being here, and enjoy. August Brinkman was sole heir to a fortune built on shady backroom deals by his parents, who, eventually due to those deals, left August orphaned with anger in his heart and in his mind, nothing left to lose. So he entered the Thunderdome Games, which was before the Apex Games, and quickly became champion, winning over the crowds with his wild, reckless charm and actually becoming the first Thunderdome celebrity. It was in the chaos of combat where he forged his strongest bond with Soft Lang, and they would eventually get married and have a son, Nathaniel. She also, though, had a brother, Kitsang, who was also in the games, and together they were unstoppable. A trio unmatched by any other squad. And this got into August's head, so much so that while busy, crowd pleasing and showing off, he let his team down when they needed him the most, resulting in the passing of Kitsang, the brother, which he still ultimately blames himself for. For nearly 2 decades, he closed himself off, drove everyone away, including his wife and son. He lived a sad, simple, lonely life that often ended daily with a bottle. However, one day he hears his son Nathaniel's applying for the games. Nathaniel, who both frustrated with his father and also determined to be better than him, sees this as an opportunity. But in order to keep his son safe from what he knows can lead to a path very much like his own, he decides to go directly to the syndicate and basically says, "You're taking me instead." And with a gun to Silva's head, this just pleases him, and he obliges. So fighting for his son's freedom, his newfound purpose, and really just to prove he still got it, 63 from Gia, favorite weapon car, we got August Brinkman, aka Ballistic. Let's look at these abilities. We'll quickly note Ballistic is a part of the Assault class, so he can stack extra ammo as well as have access to the red Smart Loot crates. But more importantly, let's look at his tactical. The Smart Bullet, or Whistler, has a recharge rate of 25 seconds. It's a projectile that when it hits its enemy will deal 20 damage. It makes the enemy's gun overheat as they shoot it, and this will eventually cause them to make an animation where they take their hands off the gun, and it'll also deal another 30 damage for a total of 50 damage. Now, if they take that extra 30 damage and overheat at 1 HP, like the overheat will not kill them, but the initial 20 damage of the piercing of the bullet can. So just keep that in mind. This is definitely annoying to deal with, which brings me to my first tip to counter that. Make sure if you are tagged with the Whistler to find cover, shoot into a wall, force the animation, take the damage. Heck, if time allows, even pop a quick heal. All of that is potentially faster than waiting the 12 or so seconds for the Whistler to die out. If you are, however, forced to stay in the fight, try to finish it quick. Switching weapons won't technically do anything, you're still going to overheat, but it does kind of change the rate of which you overheat, so a couple shotgun shots will overheat you, the same as like 14 flatline bullets, so being aware of your surroundings and what would better suit your bad situation could help you clutch a Whistler battle, but I digress. This projectile, being a smart bullet, definitely helps you hit your shot. You can tap to just fire it or hold to lock on, and as you can see, the crosshairs turn yellow. Once you are locked in, this thing finds its mark. It's pretty crazy. You can get some weird angles, but once you have hit your tactical to activate this Whistler, there's only a few ways in which you can actually choose to not use it, and that's by either healing, so you have to have had some damage done to use your ultimate, recharge your ultimate, or mantle. You actually can't switch weapons, you can't use any tactical equipment, so once you have chosen to use the Whistler, you are kind of locked into the idea, so make sure to either just release it, even if you aren't locked onto anything, so you can get back to what you need to be doing. If you do hit a surface though, you'll notice an area of effect around the Whistler, and this will still affect legends who walk into it, only hitting 5 damage, but still triggering the overheat effect. So you can actually use this, another tip here, as a way to zone control. It can give you enough time to pop a bat, pull a heal. Going one step further into the big brain category, you can actually throw down a heat shield just in the zone regularly, and it also has that same kind of blue hue to it, and you can actually fool people into thinking that that is your Whistler. Throw that down on one side, whistle the other side, and actually confuse your enemy quite a bit. All links, of course, and sources are down below, and if you've gained any intel so far, leaving a like would be hugely appreciated. But let's move on to the bread and butter that is Ballistic's kit, and that kind of is his passive mixed with his ult. It all kind of works together. So starting with his passive, the sling is exactly what it sounds like, an extra slot for a third weapon. Note this weapon can have no attachments on it. It can be accessed anytime, but most importantly works alongside his ultimate, the Tempest, which takes Ballistic's sling weapon and upgrades it to gold, then additionally provides his team with unlimited ammo and increased movement speed. A rally cry, so to speak, leading his team into battle with wild, reckless charm. With a recharge rate of 2 minutes, and if you're wearing a gold helmet, a minute 36, lasting for around 30 seconds, his ultimate is perfect to push every fight with. If you do get a knock or a kill, or anyone under the influence of the Tempest does, it will add an extra 5 seconds to allow you to continue the push. This buff, once applied to your teammate, will last until the time is up, even if Ballistic gets knocked, and has a pretty decent effective range. If your teammate is outside the range though, as you can see here, you can just move into the range even after the ult's been popped and get the effect of the Tempest. Once you've got the effect, you can just spread about and go outside that range and still get the bonuses and increase the time of the Tempest for your team. Now, to save you some time, I've actually holstered every single weapon to see the gold version of it, what optics came on it, and maybe some other upgrades to it to see kind of what would be the best weapon to holster. We've broken it down by category and optics, so a couple lists for you to check out if you fancy. And of course, just my top 5, as I do like to recommend. In 5th, I would put the Senti, especially for those gold optics. Really just any sniper, but only if you're a sniper. Otherwise, 5th place goes to any other gun. Heck, it's going to be gold, and that's just a good weapon to take into battle with you. In 4th place, I'd give it to the Rampage. It does come charged up, and with that beautiful 2x that I love. In 3rd place, I'd give it to the Devo or the Havoc. Again, it's coming charged up. Personally, I'd lead towards the Havoc. Absolutely love that bad boy. In 2nd place, we'd go for the PK or your preferred shotgun in the meta. Right now, for me, it's kind of that Mastiff. Accessing this outside of the ult is super viable. Just having a third weapon that you don't need much ammo for and that you can access at any time is super useful. But in 1st place, of course, we've got to put the R9 in the sling. Nothing beats this thing in gold, honestly. So that would be my top 5. Let me know what you like to sling. And we're just going to move on to some final tips, tricks, and things that we kind of tested. Talking about legend combos here, squad. Other legends with speed like Octane's Stimming, Bangalore's Passive, or Bloodhound's Hunt. Even Maggie's Wrecking Ball speed boost will stack with Ballistic's speed boost that he gives his team during his ultimate. An ultimate accelerant does charge 35% of your ult, so because you're in the assault class and have extra backpack space, why not add in an ultimate accelerant? This will just help you have your ult for every fight. We will note that if you want to access your sling weapon at any point outside of the ultimate, you will have to manage the ammo. We tested the Whistler on a catalyst wall. Of course, as a projectile, it would go through the veil, but it wouldn't target anything. And if you had previously targeted a player and then lose and break line of sight from that veil, it just wouldn't connect. We also tested it against a Watson pylon, and of course the pylon zapped it. Most interactions with Ballistic Kit is pretty straightforward in comparison to one of our first episodes of Who is Catalyst, where her veil absolutely interacted with everything weird. A bunch of bugs and changes have been put out since then, and I'm sure we'll see more, from now even toward Ballistic, and as different weapons come back into the meta, will we see changes in the gold versions of them, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see. This is kind of everything as it stands right now for Season 17 Arsenal and the foreseeable future. One last little quick thing though that we will note is he actually does have a nod to John Wick with the one-handed bullet press check there. As you can see on the screen, it's a little cute. He's done it in the movie a bunch, but other than that, absolutely loving this character. Not using them as well as I should, but hopefully after putting this together, I can actually take some of these tips to heart myself, put them into practice, and up my own game as Ballistic. That is, however, everything we're going to talk about. I hope you did gain an Apex fact, learn a little bit more about Ballistic, and maybe just even how to capitalize on your gameplay when you're in the Apex games. I hope I do catch you in the Apex games. Of course, links down below if you want to come hang out live. But I do appreciate you watching the videos. Feel free to drop a like on it or share it. It does super support us here at IGHQ. But most importantly, just keep being you. No one can do it better. Stay safe, stay gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. COMMs out.